My camera keeps crapping out on me. It's pretty cold in here. Let's take this big chunk of stone. It's got some flaws, it's got some cracks, it has a little bit of freeze cracks, and hopefully we can take this 22-pound piece of stone and work it into a pretty nice tool. Let's kick this off. Big mass, big mass. So this is kind of a weird hit. The one thing I don't want to do is hold my stone out like this with a whole bunch of the mass hanging off this end. I could definitely snap it right at the midpoint. So I kind of want to cradle it like a baby, make sure all that energy from my hammerstone travels into my arm. I think that right there is my starting point. All right. It's not a bad material. But with that strike, I definitely revealed a crack. So if you ever come to one of these kind of hard walls, it's almost like a perfect climbing hold, realize that it's not necessarily from a bad strike. It's from that there was an internal crack. That shock wave tried to travel from my point of impact and in, but it hit that crack. As I hit from here, my shock wave connected to that crack and rode it all the way through. And from that crack on the inside, it hinged right here where my thumb is. Now that's fully correctable, but it requires a whole different set of kind of steps. Here we go. This one looks interesting. There's my crack. Remember that backside crack from here to here? I bet this guy is going to separate in two pieces. So with that being said, I can try to thin it through, but it looks like the crack is on both sides. So I know eventually I will lose this whole chunk. I can beat it to death trying to reduce it, or I can try to salvage it and just have it break in two pieces, and then I might have two pieces of working stone. You can hear the sound difference. Here, here. Let's try to finish that off. There, that was it. That was that chunk. Still, workable piece. Like I called it, that whole crack right there, just whoop, it's all the way through. Got some concretion on the inside, and I can see where that crack ultimately connects. Let's try and pull that other chunk off. And if this is done right here, where that crack continues all the way to this edge, should be able to pop that chunk off with one hit. And we'll see what we can do. Let's find that right spot. Little meat, little potato. There we go. Crack followed right where it wanted to go. These are the chunks that I have left. Between that one, and this one, all of these are still workable. So once we've cleared that monster crack out, we can go back to the stone and kind of say, now let's look at it. What other problems do I have? See that little crack right there? That's for me. That's a clean crack. Inside of here, you can see this discoloration. It's a little bit of patina. That's where water has leaked in over time, created that discoloration. This piece is still workable. Maybe a couple complications up here, but we'll see what kind of tool we can get out of this broken stone. Flake, 10 pounds. Let's get rid of that. Yep, that was another crack. That was my bad hit. That one's not going to last much longer. There's a big crack right through here. It's kind of rolled up and in. I might wind up losing this kind of whole chunk. If you're knapping one of these, you can look at this like two ways. You can say, I've lost the overall size of the stone, but the material on the inside, minus these little edges with some cracks, I can still use it to pull off a bunch of flakes. Nice choice flakes. There's a little crystal pocket. They just keep revealing themselves. Discoloration, patina from water leaking in. Still a good little piece. So as the cracks slowly appear and I kind of work through them, you can be left with some interesting pieces. So this might be salvageable. I'm probably going to lose that tip, but something could come of it. Couple fun flakes. This end thinner, this end thinner. I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of these ends to raise my edge up so that I can try to shoot flakes across and reduce it. I don't want to keep chipping away on this side because eventually it's going to create more problems by having a thinner section in the middle with still mass on the top. I guarantee you would snap midpoint. So I'm going to sacrifice this end, which raises it, to shoot flakes this way. Which one looks better? Yeah, this one down here looks better. That's what I wanted. I think I got one more in there. One more right on that little platform. Finger on the tip. Finger supporting. I think I'm going to throw on my hard light pad. This is some hard Pedernales chert I picked up maybe about a year ago. And definitely requires a different level of force. Good flake. So just after clearing that edge, I still have this 90-degree wall that I can take off at different angles, but I'm going to try to use this edge to remove as much of it as I can, then raising this edge a bit and then coming back the other way. And at that point, I should be bifacial. Be it right there. Big crack and fold there. Chase it that way. That might be the only option, really. Yeah, let's do it. This is a rough spot because I got the eye of this stone sitting right here, which means it is a harder material than the rest of this kind of chert you see. So I'm going to give it a pop. It's going to require quite a bit of force. Too much force can sometimes snap a piece right in two. Go. That was it. Expecting it to break. Why it broke? That was me. Being too overzealous right in the middle, but it's the reality of knapping. And you are trying to take an unruly piece of stone, make it a little bit better. Sometimes it just don't want to work. That's the reality of it. But both of these are salvageable. This one or this one. I'm kind of feeling this one. The stone looks a little bit better. A little chaos right up there in the middle, but we'll see what we can come up with. Let's give it one good hard hammer. I got this little kind of area sticking out, following a ridge, defined ridge. Hopefully it connects through, gets rid of some of this concretion here. Let's go with, that worked. Not bad. Yeah, let's try it one more time. I still got a little bit of material here. I'm gonna hit this. A little bit more focus, a little bit narrower hammer stone. High up on the stone. Got it. I'll take that. All right. Okay. One little patch of concrete causes all sorts of problems. Little maintenance. Need to clear this guy. I've got really one more shot, maybe right here. Let's see what we got. Nope. Man, to travel through this little concrete patch. I'm gonna eventually wind up breaking it down, but at least if I can get this mound off, I'll have a good, some sort of workable tool. But I've come at it from every angle. Let's go here. That was it. Yeah, you felt it, you heard it. That's what it was. Cleared it right off. It's not sitting too close to this top side. Because as I came from here, and from here, that concrete wouldn't let my flakes travel through. So I had one last spot, which is that flake scar right to there. And now, I mean, it's cleared out. This guy, for the most part, is bifacial. Keep thinning it out a little bit, and it will be some sort of workable tool or hand blade. All right, so from that big chunk, I was able to get this little biface. Obviously, I would form it into a thinner knife blade or some sort of spearhead. If this was similar to the size that I had before, you can see by reducing it down into this kind of travel component, a biface, preform, instead of carrying this, you're saving yourself quite a bit of weight. So when everything is said and done, if you go back to that 22-pound piece of stone that I originally started with, tons of cracks and little concretions and some freeze cracks, just a little bit of chaos, it gave me some usable chunks. That's just kind of dealing with the stone as it breaks, because it's going to do what it wants. But with that one remaining piece, I was able to work out a pretty nice biface. This biface becomes a future project. And even when you look at that broken piece, I went through and actually turned those into 2 bifacial pieces, because there's no sense in letting a broken piece of stone go to waste. I didn't record it because I know people can only take so much knapping, but no matter what a stone gives you, there's still a bunch of salvable chunks that you can make into workable tools. Flakes that I can use as arrow points, I can use as different scrapers. No matter what, that one piece of 22-pound stone is gonna allow me to knap for days. With the preforms I've already made and those other chunks I still have to work, plus all these flakes, possibilities are really endless. But even when a gnarly piece of stone gives you some problems, there's still workable material on the inside. Don't overlook it, but more importantly, how I can negotiate with the stone to get some sort of workable tool in the end. All right, that's all I got. Appreciate you watching.